Thanks to all our active patrons who have contributed a lifetime of $100 or more to reach Garuk Dong level status.
Here is the list of those special patrons in order of contributions.
If you would like to support our show, check out the Commander Smiths at patreon.com. Welcome to the Commander Smiths.
We are the Commander Smiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowery Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
And we don't have any fucking errors this week. So far. Whoa, knock on wood.
It's literally 10 seconds into this. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
That was just a disaster last week to start it off. Okay, this is episode 256. Yeah, we had to actually I had to cut the video, cut the whole beginning part, 5 minutes out of it. And you had, how much audio did you cut out from all that shenanigans in the beginning? It was
minutes.
Yeah.
Worth.
It was bad.
Minutes.
Hey, Renshai, we started 2 minutes early just so we could be on at 9 o'clock. So don't give me that shit almost.
We were, I think your satellite correction is a little bit off. Hey, Paul.
Hey, yeah, we don't say hi to Renshai, just hi to Paul.
No, he comes in at us all aggressive, and I don't think we should be like, whoa, hi, slow down there, sir. I thought you were busy.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, Renshai.
Yeah. Well, maybe
you were doing something.
Maybe he was busy watching us. That's what he was busy.
Look at this. Renshai still thinks I adopted him. Come on, man.
Okay, so we have quite a few things today. We talked about how to not be the target last week and win games and all that stuff. Now, what are we doing this week? We're doing something that's kind of along the lines of it a little bit. Kind of a little.
Wait, we're going to talk about
how do you
win the game.
No, that's what we did last week.
We said how do you not?
Yeah.
I mean, that's still technically how do you win the game?
Yeah. What type of we were game
teaching
ender
people how to be infiltrators, right? Essentially.
Ooh, look at that! Look at the little foreshadowing.
So we have 3 different types that we're going to discuss, but there's Annihilator is all at once.
Yep. And then we got Sniper, which is taking out one player at a time, which is kind of a douchey thing to do if it's a 3-hour long game.
When you're playing Halo, nobody likes the sniper.
Yeah,
nobody likes the sniper.
I hated the snipers, man. I was just go out, fire everywhere, grenades and everything. So I kind of
I just had plasma grenades, tried to throw them at people and died before any of them went off.
They were fun when they stuck to their head and then they're running around trying to. They see the little flare in their head.
And they're teabagging me while I'm dead after them killing, and then they explode. That was great.
And then we have Infiltrator, like Lowery said, which is kind of a situational depending on what you do. So we're going to get into that. We have the Elite 8, the matchups there, the finals of that.
And I'm sure our voting is down because nobody's paying attention after hashtag Team Forest Walk got beat last week.
No, how many votes did we get? Just want to see if we got. Yeah, we're still right there. We're still right up there around those 100 mark right there. So that's pretty good.
All right.
And then we have the matchups for the final 4. So that'll be the last little segment we got going on. And of course, Stump the Smith Savant. 2 cards are up for grabs. It is
Deathrite Shaman
and Nicol Bolas there.
Nicol Bolas.
I did draw Brad's name last week, but then today when I was going through and getting the questions together, his card was under 10,000. So Brad, if he gets back to me this week, he'll get a chance next week. This week we actually have Matthew Hopkins is going to be trying to stump you this week. So
which card did he pick?
One of these weeks you're gonna get me.
Maybe. I doubt it.
Sneaky bastard. What are you drinking, Lowery? Is it
same one from last week? I'm just not gonna have 3 beer. I'm just gonna have 2 because I was real fucking hammered last week. But it's Moose Lake Morning Haze New England IPA. Very tasty, enjoyable. Not amazing, but very drinkable.
I'm doing
what are you drinking?
The old Guinness, because this is still left over from when we did the Malort.
Yeah.
Speaking of Malort, you guys can buy shots if you want. Malort shot with the
But
Guinness.
you can also not buy Malort shots.
I think that's what did you in last week, Lowery, was the Malort once it
Absolutely.
finally.
And the other thing that we kind of came out last week, when was it Jeff Long?
Jeffrey
become
Long.
a patron.
Yep.
He was becoming a patron, not technically donating to the cast for us to take beans, but it was a good idea. So if you want to become a patron when we are live going, we will do the beans, we will do the shot, we'll do whatever
level
you're in for.
Yeah, whatever you jump in at, we will do that right there. So it's kind of like you're getting a pseudo buying us shots or whatever, but then also becoming a patron. So
yes,
that's
awesome. And so should we go welcome to the meat forest to Jeffrey Long?
Let me get the button. Hang on a second. Are we just getting right to the everything?
No, but I mean, like, we brought it up. Let's just do that.
Okay.
You can become a patron and you join our Discord. Or
here we go.
$5.
Welcome to a meat forest.
That sounds like a fairy tale of a meat forest.
That's great when
we don't hear that enough.
No, we don't. We go through like weeks at a time, and I get a chuckle out of that one. I just love your reaction of it. Like, you're just recording him, just say, "Hey, welcome to the meat forest," and then he does it. And then no, you said meat force, and then he did it to meat forest, and then that was.
Now that's where we're at. We're in a meat forest. But thanks for becoming a patron. Very helpful and awesome.
You too can become. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna go.
You rock.
You don't. You used to yell at me for that shit. Now you're doing. Why is all this Team Forest Walk popping up? Stop it, guys. It is out of the tournament. You can't keep doing it.
No, it's French Eye on your side. That's fine. Don't get mad about it. Oh, unless there's
Paul's going
stuff I
back
haven't seen.
Or not Paul. Steve just jumped in there. Steve and Dale. Team Forest Walk was denied the rightful.
It's not popping up yet. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah.
I can't see it.
It will.
It'll come. It'll come all over the place. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, not in the tournament. It's out.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, by the way, with Stump the Smith Savant this week, if Lowery does not get stumped, we add a third card because this is week number 6. So remember, every 3 weeks we are now adding more cards because we up the to 10,000 EDH rec decks. So there's gonna be another card added if Lowery doesn't get stumped. And is 3 the max we've ever had?
Yes.
Okay.
And I lost right away.
So hopefully, either way, we're giving away a new card next week. If you don't get it, we're giving away these cards and giving away another one. So remember, you guys can send those to me either directly on Discord, or you can shoot an email at commandersmiths@gmail.com. What else do we want to talk about? I don't think there was anything that happened this week. Vikings lost. We don't need to talk about that. It was very disappointing.
We don't need to.
We don't need to talk about it. We got enough 49er fans in the mix here. That's probably why we're missing a few of the other guys, because they're probably watching the Cowboys and Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay. Yeah.
I didn't even check it before we got on. But okay, so we got the 1,000 giveaway. Oh. I do want to mention the 1,000 1K giveaway. We now are over 900 subscribers. So
yes,
yay. Oh, good for us.
Good for you.
We are over 900, so now we're 100 away. Actually, we're less than 100 because we got more than 900. And then also we're 30 comments away or entries on that video when we open up autograph cards. So if you haven't entered yet with anything, it's not just autograph cards. You enter for all of them, even if they aren't open. Every comment counts towards an entry, and 30 away from getting autograph cards on there. So jump out. The video is linked below this video, and it's probably second from the top if you're just on our YouTube page. So I think that's all the shit that I wanted to talk about. Do you do anything fun this weekend?
I went and hung out with Alex, Mr. Hockey.
Good for you.
That was fun. I needed it. He brings out some really good beer, and so it's very enjoyable. We got a couple of 1v1 games. He beat me a couple games, and then I was a total dickhead the last game at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, that was awesome to see that on the Discord. All of a sudden, both of you are messaging him like, "What the fuck? How late were you?"
I was taking a shit. I was taking a shit. Oh, and by the way, I apologize for your toilets, both of them. They're
Clog them
gross.
up.
They're gross. Oh yeah, I don't clog. It's just
Just things happen.
gross.
Shit
It's
happens.
just gross. I'm sorry. It's something inside of me.
It has to get out.
Something-
It's the devil
something.
inside of you.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
but like,
my light just came off.
you do that, and I will. I'll talk a little bit about it. Okay. So
What the
two
fuck
cool
happened there?
interactions. I was playing Calmax with one game, and I was able to copy it 3 times, and so 3 of my creatures were getting through with Shadow, and he's playing Ivy, and he also plays Shadow Rift on the one creature to make another copy. So Shadow Rift always is basically unblockable except for if somebody else has Shadow. And he was
Yes.
able to give 2 of his creatures Shadow to block my big guys. They were like 10/10s at the time. That has never happened before in Commander ever.
That's
I
pretty
guarantee
sweet.
you, nobody's played Shadow Rift to be able to block somebody playing Shadow Rift.
I mean, there's a lot of Commander players in games. I'm sure it's happened, but
Never happened.
first
It
time.
was one of
ever.
a time. Yep. Even before standard. I'm just saying. Might have happened. And then in the last game of the night, I was playing Muldrotha, and what was it, like turn 3 or 4? I played Crucible of Worlds. He's like, "Why are you doing that? You're already bringing stuff back with Muldrotha." And so the next turn, I play Muldrotha, and he instantly destroys it. I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Then I go, "Okay, well, strip mine, destroy your land, bring it back with Crucible, strip mine, kill your land."
You kill
And
my
then-
shit, I become a douche.
And then the next turn, I bring out Karn Liberated, exile one of his lands, bring back strip mine, strip his land.
Oh,
I was
man.
such a dickhead. I felt bad. I don't know why I was doing it. It was like a drunk spite move. I should not have. It was just 1v1. It'd never work in a real game.
Did you win that then? Because you locked him
We
out?
just kind of quit.
Yeah,
It was
I bet, because that sucks. You're such a
super
douche.
douchey of me.
You got 2 weeks in a row
this is
of
my
being
apology.
a douche.
Yeah.
You wonder why no one wanted to jump on and play Discord games with us this last week.
No,
because-
I knew exactly why. That was probably everybody that would play watched that, and they're like, "I don't want to play with Lowery.
Yeah.
Why am I even here?" I'm good. Do you do anything?
Nah, we went to Cindy and I went to the Vikings game yesterday or last night yesterday. So that was
That could have been fun.
yeah. We've been to some pretty
it
sweet
wasn't.
games. It was pretty disappointing, but whatever. You know, it's a Vikings fan. It's a Minnesota sports fan. You know, we don't win shit. Like, only thing that we
You should have
win.
been a Lynx fan.
Yeah, I was
There
gonna
you
say
go.
the only thing that we win is women's basketball. Like everything else, professional sports wise, it's been, for those of you listening, Minnesota men's 91 is the last time any professional sport team has won in Minnesota. We have the Wild hasn't won. They've never won one. The Timberwolves haven't won one. The Vikings haven't won. The Vikings haven't even been there since we've been alive. So then they've lost 4
Right.
before we were alive. So it's tough, especially when you have people in the Discord like Ted who have live in Boston, and they had a 365-day period where every single major sports team won their championship. So
Wild.
it's stupid. It's like, oh my God, this
I mean,
is
there's that too.
ridiculous.
It's stupid.
It's just dumb. Anyway, so it was fun for Cindy and I to go. It was really, really cool. They upped everything. Like, one thing, guess who was, the halftime show was, right?
No.
Luda. Ludacris.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
That was awesome, actually. And they I was saying to Cindy, I was like, you could tell they now are used to playing concerts here, because they did throughout the whole game like a concert. They dropped the lights off and just strobe light everywhere. Like, it was like you were in a concert during the game. It was kind of crazy. Like commercial breaks, it's not while they're actually like hiking the ball.
I would
and all
assume
that.
it's
Yeah.
not during the game.
Yeah, there'd be some things a little wrong with that. Just, oh, you're on offense? Okay, right. Hike. Oh, shut the
Long
lights
pass,
off.
lights off, strobe lights.
Directly in their eyes. Home field advantage, bitch. We don't need fans. We just have strobe lights. But yeah, it was fun. $50 for 2 beers and 2 grilled cheeses with mac and cheese in the middle and one with buffalo chicken. Yeah, it's totally worth it. We aren't the most expensive for beer in the NFL, but it's up there. Oh, Ted's all bragging. It's good to be a king. Be the king, he says. Yeah, you douche canoe. But yeah,
the
other
King's
than that,
down in Tampa Bay right now, but that's okay.
Oh, snap. I wonder, what's the
I'll be
score
here
of
all
that
night.
game? What's the score
I don't
of that
know.
game,
Like,
guys?
I was like halfway into the first quarter when I last checked, and Dallas had just scored. So
Yeah, Renshai, whatever. Do you just pick teams that are good? Yeah, then your teams will always win. Hey, I'll just pick the number 1 team here and this one. Those are my teams.
I'm a Kansas City fan right now.
I actually want
Wink.
the Bills to win because they are like the Vikings, but they went 4 back-to-back Super Bowls and lost them all. So that's who I'm cheering for at this point. Okay. Anyways, that was pretty much it. We have sports, kids sports and all that stuff all weekend and birthday parties. I don't know. It's like birthday party season. I don't know. It's weird. But,
Right.
Okay. Let's get to the cast.
We need to talk about your sons after
Whoa, Renshai says
episode.
24-0 Cowboys.
halfway through the third quarter.
Jeez. All right. Yeah, well, it's Tampa. At least we're not the
I
only home team that's losing.
I hope they go up by 34 and then Buccaneers come back for the win.
Yeah, like the
That's-
Jaguars one where they okay, let's get to the cast here. Okay, so you guys can become a patron. Just like Jeffrey Long, like I hit that button earlier. Why not hit it again?
Do it
'Cause
again.
He
Do
did
it again.
during the cast, and
Welcome to a meat forest.
That sounds like a fairy tale of a meat forest.
So you can become a patron just like Jeffrey, and by donating $1 or more, that gets you into the Discord, gets you playing games with us, gets you chatting with us on the Discord, with everybody on the Discord. It's not just us. More people. We talk very little compared to everybody else. Kind of, maybe. I don't know. But that's supporting the show. That helps us continue doing what we're doing here. You can also financially support the show by donating on the live stuff, by donating shots. If we ever do battle boxes, which is going to be this week, we will be doing that most likely, I think, Thursday.
Collector's box of Dominaria remastered.
Oh,
That's
good
hotness.
for you.
Hotness.
Oh, good for you.
Really? Is it that? I feel like it's more like this. That's what it's going to feel like. Oh, like me and you.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. That
Bang,
sounds
bang,
weird
bang.
now.
So anytime we are live, you can donate. Even if it's just one of us, you can donate to make them Flick the Bean is what we're going to call it now. Came up with that last week. I don't remember who said it. Like, I thought it was Lowery, but
Again,
maybe it was on
I
we
don't
were
remember.
drinking. Yeah.
I don't- I was
So you can make us flick
drunk.
the bean and eat the hot beans on the battle boxes. Wait, no, that's Commander Games. Commander Games are the hot beans. Everything else is whatever.
Yeah, we drink during Battle Box, so
Yeah. So we don't want to do the hot beans with that. So, okay. So those are the 2 ways to financially support the show, just by donating. It's fun to make us do stuff. So if you don't want to become a patron, but I highly suggest it because we really don't communicate anywhere else besides there and on the live stuff. Become a patron, just do $1 and then donate on the live feed if you want to do that too. But if you go higher in the tiers, $5, it gets you proxies each month. Even higher on that, you can get foil proxies each month. So you get a little benefit from donating to our show. What else we got there? Oh, let's go to YouTube. YouTube is the free way to support the show. Again, 900. We are over 900 subscribers. Once we hit 1,000, we have that 1K giveaway. So if you haven't entered yet, which I know there are hundreds of you, yes, hundreds of you who have not commented, do it before we hit 1,000 because that's when we're going to give away all of the prizes that are on there, or all of the ones that aren't fulfilled, I guess, all the entries and all that stuff. So like I said, 30 more comments on the video opens up autographed, and then we have 3 more that you can open up along the way. And then no matter what, the 30th anniversary is going to be open for the drawing at the end of it. So get out there and vote, subscribe, get us to 1,000 so we can start giving away that stuff. That just helps us out. That's the free way. But also, if you subscribe, you get to see tons of videos that we do throughout the week. Curated MTG, which happens twice a week, Tuesdays and Saturdays. do you know what our Tuesday is going to be, or do you want to tell us what your Saturday was? Do you remember either of them? I just edited
I don't have one
your
for tomorrow.
stuff for Saturday, but since I don't have to do the thumbnail anymore, I don't even know what it is.
I did. Okay. I did Hall of Mist.
Halls of Mist? Is that the cumulative upkeep
Halls of Mist? Hall of the Mists?
The cumulative upkeep one?
Yeah. Yeah. So the land, and it has cumulative upkeep 1. And then any creatures that attacked the last turn cannot attack this turn.
I like that card.
And I talk about how you can kind of make it work for you. You know, you can blink your creatures with Brago, and then they don't count if they, they're a new creature, so they didn't attack last turn. In Muldrotha, you cannot pay the upkeep, and then it goes to the graveyard. You can attack and then bring it back. And then there's another one that I am not 100% what I chose. But it's kind of a cool card. It's in under 500 EDH rec decks. So it if you want everybody to go, what is that card? You can play that one.
Yeah, I dig that card. I have a few copies of that. Oh,
also reserve list. So
that was why I picked that one up. Demonic Mango, which that's Quinn. He asked, what do we have to do what do you have to comment on? Back to that 1K video. It's the 1K video where we're giving away $1,000 worth of stuff and gear and all that. It is in the
link
description.
Is in the notes.
Yes, it's in the description. It's like the first blocked out thing, so you can just click there. Or if you just go to our page, it's like the second video down. Like it's towards the top. So those are the two spots. Okay, so Curated MTG, biggest thing you guys got to do is watch those videos and give them a like. I didn't watch it, so I failed. I apologize. We also have our Spotlight decks, which is either building new decks or working on old ones and tweaking those up, which is called our Command MTG Switcheroo. Lowery did that last week. And what decks did you work on last week? This is an all Lowery segment at this point.
I do stuff. It was Muldrotha, Renee, Savant, and Essex.
Nice. So you got 4 decks done in about an hour, huh?
Yeah, under an hour. I was flying because I've sped up where I have the switching going in and out, and then if there are cards that I could not easily find, then I'll go through the deck and see if I can fit them in. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but it really speeds up the process. So,
makes sense. Gets it done quicker. Gets some more decks done. So yeah, those are our deck tech videos. You can kind of see how we do different styles of building the decks or switching out, doing our upgrades for new cards that come out and everything. That is our Spotlight stuff. We also have Discord Commander games. We didn't do one last week, but we did the previous 2 weeks, so you could check those videos out. That's where the hot beans come into play. And then I started 2 weeks ago, and I've done it the last 2 weeks. What card gets you hard? The card that was last week was Atraxa, and we had the original Gangster, the original version, OG version, Borderless version, and the Secret Lair version. Surprisingly, which one do you think, kind of giving it away by saying surprisingly, but what do you think actually won the vote?
I like the full art from Double Masters.
Yeah, that's the one that is that what you're guessing?
Yeah, that's
that one. 56% of the vote went to that. 33% went to the Secret Lair, and 11% went to the original one.
Sad.
Yeah, I know. But the Secret Lair one, I think if I could have showed how shiny and the gilded foil looked, I think that would have done a little better. I still think the Borderless looks really sweet. I like that art. But the voting, I'm doing that weekly. It's just a really quick video on that, and you guys can vote on Twitter and YouTube and on the Discord. So there's a bunch of places that you guys can vote there.
You know what is going to be coming out on Wednesday?
What's that? Secret Lair.
What card gets you hard?
Oh,
when you put the video, do you know what you're doing?
I'm thinking of doing Soul Ring.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah. There's definitely some options there.
Yeah, I know. That's the hard part is I want to get it down to 3, and I'm like, there's a lot more Soul Rings now, especially with the Secret Lair stuff. And then they did the Warhammer, the Black commander one, and then the green one, and then they were doing all the colors with all that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I have to.
Ugh.
I'm gonna try to get 3 picked out. So
You got to do the original.
yeah, I got to do the original, and
That
then I
has
was
to be there.
So what I was gonna do is the original, the secret layer, which is here. I'll actually pop it over there so you can see it. Card preview. Boom. So I was gonna do that one.
Oh.
And I was
Forgot
going
about
to
that
do the original, except I'll do
Yep.
it in the revised or whatever version I want there. So I'll use one of those. And then what do you think? Masterpiece? This guy? Or
Yeah.
I feel like that's the one I want to choose. I think it has the best shot because the other ones people just haven't seen. This one's just boring because we've seen it like 300 times at this
Agreed.
point.
It was really cool when it came out in the Exiled.
And we talked about
FTV.
how stupid
No, that's
this
fucking
Soul
busy.
Ring is.
All right. That's what it was. Yeah.
So you think those 3? I think those are the best 3 to use.
There's some judge promo versions, right?
These are all the Scryfall ones.
That's all of them.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is
that's the old one.
the DCI right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, probably the Masterpiece one.
yeah. And I really like
can
this
agree
one.
with
So
that.
I think this has a chance to do
That looks so good in foil.
Yeah, it does. It really does. So
This would be hard. I'd probably go OG.
yeah, I probably would too, but I think second would be this one for me. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Let's see. This week was Borderless. What was last week? So I want to check that quick just so I can see.
If everybody just going board. I think it was the Masterpiece, that one.
Was it? Or wasn't it the Border or was it the old school? Fuck, where did I put it? Retro. Oh, here we go. Yep, you're right. Masterpiece. You're right. 38%. That one was closer. It was all in the 30s.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Let me jump back to where we were. Okay, so YouTube. There's a ton of stuff on YouTube. We do a lot of videos. Just the best thing to do is just subscribe. If you're listening right now, subscribe to YouTube. We're almost at 1,000. You get a chance to win. Okay, so Twitter is also we post stuff there.
We do.
Our polls go there. Our videos that come out go there. If there's updates of the show and you aren't a part of the Discord, that's they go there as well. So that's
and I'll be getting us on the gram at some point.
The gram is that what the kids are calling it?
It is, I think, from my understanding.
So yeah, we'll be expanding. We are on TikTok. Forgot about that. TikTok's where you see all our short stuff too. So what card gets you hard? Curated MTG, any of the videos that we do that are short will pop on there as well. So follow us there as well. That one's a follower and the other one's a subscriber. The other two. You can direct message us on Twitter or you can shoot us an email at commandersmiths@gmail.com. And that is where you can send the suggestions for this. It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Stump the Smith Savant.
Oh, Alex did say that he was mad about not being on the list for like a year.
For not
He's disappointed in that.
I apologize to him. I don't know. So I get
I mean he'll be mad forever. He's a Catholic. Like he just holds on to it forever. That's fine.
All right. If you guys don't know how this game works, I'm gonna read the flavor text of a card, and Lowery's gonna try to guess the card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes, he'll hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no, he'll hear this.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
He will get up to 5 wrong guesses before he is considered stumped. He gets up to 3 clues. If he can guess everything about the card, but can't get the name, I will give him the initials of the card. If he still has a clue left, I will give him a bonus clue that should give it away of what all the words or word is. Currently, we have Nicol Bolas from the 30th anniversary Secret Lair kit, Advent Calendar kit, and Deathrite Shaman, both in non-foil from the same thing. This is week 6. If Lowery does not get, or if he does get it this week, we add a third card, and the card has to be in at least 10,000 EDH rec decks. And again, make sure you send it to me at our Gmail, at commandersmiths@gmail.com, or at the Discord. Those are the 2 spots. All right. I think that's it. Oh, I eliminated the chat, so no one can, or Lowery can't see what they're guessing. And we'll see if chat can beat Lowery this week. All right, here we go. This is a short one. What Whenever I walk, the ancestors.
Ancestors. They're sassy.
We don't even have a Malort in us, and I did that. The ancestors walk too. Whenever I walk, the ancestors walk too. Are you doing?
Path of Ancestry.
Is that what your guess is?
That's gonna be a guess.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
It's not the shortest one like you did last week.
No, that's all right. I thought I had it. Can you reread it again, please?
Whenever I walk, the ancestors walk too. Oh yes, and this week's stumper is Matthew Hopkins. Forgot to mention that.
Oh, I don't know if I recognize that name. Is it a patron or no?
No.
Okay. All right. I'll take a first clue, please.
All right, stick with me here. The art features a holy man with a giant sword looking for conflict with glowing Lowery eyes. The reason why I say glowing Lowery eyes, it's the thumbnail things that I add into your eyes. They're glowing. It looks exactly like that. I was like, oh, it's Lowery. So let me read that again. The art features a holy man with a giant sword looking for conflict with glowing Lowery eyes. Boom! Dominic Mango gets it with no help.
I have. All right. Is this a non-permanent card?
Wrong, wrong, wrong,
It's a permanent
wrong.
card. Permanent card, right?
Yep.
I want to hear the boobies.
Oh, sorry.
Hello, boobies.
Yeah, that's you.
That was
That's
like
only
it.
you. All right. So it's a permanent card. I'm down 2 wrong at this point. It's a permanent card. It's because for a second there I was thinking like Swords to Plowshare, but it didn't fit everything. So it's a permanent card. Is it
Yes, I said, sorry. It's Demonic Mango got it.
Yep. Okay. Is it
Franchise
white
asking.
color identity at all?
Hello, boobies.
Look at that. Got a hello, boobies.
All right, a legitimate one. I'll take the second clue, please.
The text features a keyword ability we did not draft that puts a counter on this, and creatures with this type of counter can give life. Let me read that again. The text features a keyword ability we didn't draft that puts a counter on this, and creatures with this type of counter can give life.
I can't comprehend. Creatures with this counter on it can give life?
What is that? Well, I'm not going to give you exactly what that is. What am I saying there?
Assuming it's it feels like I don't want to specifically talk about that, but I'm going to assume that it's lifelink. Lifelink counters would likely be associated with.
Let me read that again. The text features a keyword ability we didn't draft that puts a counter on this. So that's part of the whole keyword ability draft that we don't. That you have to think of that.
Yep.
And creatures with this type of counter can give life.
Give life. I mean, assuming giving life sounds like lifelink, but we drafted lifelink. And so the counter potentially is different from the original keyword, which Can you reread that one more time?
The text features a keyword ability we didn't draft that puts a counter on this. And creatures with this type of counter can give you life or can give life? It's funny how Demonic Mango got it, how Quinn got it. It's because Renshai's like, how the hell did you know that?
When I go walking, my ancestors follow?
Whenever I walk, the ancestors walk too.
Oh, okay.
The art features a holy man with a giant sword looking for conflict with glowing Lowery eyes. Maybe he just has you in his eyesight, glowing Lowery.
All right. So we didn't do first strike. We didn't do flying. We did trample. We did double strike. We did hexproof. Trying to think of all. We did death touch. We did lifelink. So in my mind, it's like first strike or flying. Flying would be like luminous brood moth, but that's not like a person carrying a sword. That's like a fucking moth. And so more than likely it's first strike. Is this keyword ability first strike?
Wrong, 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 wrong.
Oh my. Is this permanent a creature?
Hello, boobies.
Okay. So we know it's a white creature. It probably be. I mean, it could be from the commander Dex, which means it could be from that Mardu deck, because that's probably more human based. That's where Kelsian was, and that's where that gal was. That had first strike.
Paul says glowing bedroom eyes.
I definitely sleep with my eyes closed.
Whenever I walk, the ancestors walk too. The art features a holy man with a giant sword looking for conflict with glowing Lowery eyes. The text features a keyword ability we didn't draft that puts a counter on this, and creatures with this type of counter can give life.
Can give life. I have 3 wrong, right?
Yes. Probably want that third clue.
I'll take that third clue.
It was first printed in Khans of Tarkir, since has been printed in Iconic Masters. Actually, that's it. Iconic Masters. I saw something else on there, but Khans of Tarkir and Iconic Masters. It is in 12,000 EDH rec decks, and the commander it's most played in is Lathiel, the Bounteous Dawn. Bounteous Dawn? Kid can't even read. Do you know which one that is?
Lathiel?
Lathiel? Lathiel?
Lathiel, the what?
The Bounteous. Bounteous. Bounteous?
I'm not sure if I know that one. Boy.
You already have the color, so, but it is, I can tell you which one that is. It is from, I believe it's from the Commander set. Commander Legends. Lathiel, yes. Commander Legends, it is that unicorn.
Okay.
Do you know what unicorn I'm talking about?
I'm not even sure I know what one you're talking about. There's one from Modern Horror. Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
It's green and white.
It's white and green.
Yep.
Can I hear that second clue again, please?
The text features a keyword ability we didn't draft that puts a counter on this, and creatures with this type of counter can give life.
What the fuck? This is a really good one. This is... I don't know if I'm going to get there. I got a... Okay. A type of counter.
I should have added one more thing to that to help you out a little bit.
Cons?
Cons of Tarkir, yep.
Cons of Tarkir.
And the only other printing is Iconic Masters.
Iconic Masters. Yes, no. Do I have 3 or 4 wrong?
3 wrong.
3 wrong.
Whenever I walk the ancestors, I keep saying ancestors. Ancestors. The ancestors walk too. The art features a holy man with a giant sword looking for conflict with glowing Lowery eyes. The text features a keyword ability we didn't draft that puts a counter on this. And creatures with this type of counter can give you life. First printed in Cons of Tarkir. Since then has been printed in Iconic Masters, 12,000 EDH Rec decks. And Lathiel the Bounteous Dawn is most seen in that deck. It's most seen in those decks.
Oh. All right, so is this is it talking about a +1/+1 counter?
Hello, boobies.
And then that gives life.
Paul's trying to give all. If the chat was there, he's giving all hints there.
And you're saying the keyword was not first strike, so it might be flying. Is the keyword flying?
Wrong.
Or wrong? No, it's a white creature. It could be multicolored because that is that's a multicolored set. +1/+1 counter. This
Paul,
might be one of those.
Your clue, your comments are exactly what I did with the. Yeah. Anyways, I'll say in a sec.
Oh boy, I feel really lost at this point. Lathiel is white and green, so at most it could be white and green. It's dealing with +1/+1 counters. It has a keyword that I do not know, but it's something that we didn't draft. And you said it's not first strike or flying. And then
Renshai said he should just give up.
that's fair. I'm getting there. I'm just trying to. It's in 12,000 decks.
Yep.
Probably has something to do with lifelink or gaining life. I'm okay. I'm okay giving up. I don't have any real clue.
Congratulations, Matthew Hopkins. You won those two, the Nicol Bolas and the Deathrite Shaman. Okay, let me see if I can give you some more hints here. I did give you a hint in the first clue. The art features a holy man. So what is another word for a holy man?
Like a Swiss cheese dude?
A holy man with a giant sword.
A monk?
Another holy man.
Priest?
There you go. That's one of the words. Looking for conflict. Conflict. What would be another word for conflict? Let me do it this way. If I would have said the keyword ability can only be done as a sorcery, would that have helped?
No, I don't think so.
Does Outlast?
So it's like, what's it?
Outlast ring a bell? The keyword ability is
I
Outlast.
guess. Okay.
Outlast 1 white, which is put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Outlast only as a sorcery. Then its other ability is each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it has lifelink. Is that ringing a bell at all? Card name?
I don't think I would have gotten that at all. There's
No
no way I would have gotten that.
The card is Abzan Battle Priest.
No way. Nice one for sure. Ooh.
So yeah, if you would have got with that extra clue, I was gonna say its first word is white, blue, green, or white, black, green. And then the second was the holy, and then the third was conflict. So that's battle.
I would have had no. Yeah, I was not even close. Wherever I was. Nice job.
So
nice job.
Demonic Mango, he just won a Cons of Tarkir pack and opened this past weekend. So that's why he got it like instantly. And Renshai's like, how the fuck did you get that?
Now Renshai knows how I feel when he's like that. Nice one for sure.
Yeah. All right. So you win both of these cards, Matthew. If you can message us directly either on Twitter or our email, and get your address if you're not a part of the Discord. If you are a part of the Discord, I haven't seen you messaging, so maybe you just are you're one of the lurkers that like to watch and all that stuff. I like to watch. But yeah, you guys can send 10,000 EDH rec decks, commandersmiths@gmail.com. We'll figure out what we're going to give away for next week. So congratulations, buddy. All right, let's get to our main topic this week. And we need a button, Lowery.
Here you go, AJ.
I don't want a relationship. I just want bang, bang, bang. I don't want to know your name. I just want bang, bang, bang.
So, what type of game ender are you? We have
we're asking the crowd, not just me specifically, right?
We have
not like how I interpreted it via text.
Yeah. I'm glad we went over it before we started, because then it would have been like, we're on.
You would have been like, well, what about these Annihilator?
What? All right, so we kind of broke these into like 3 categories. We're just gonna kind of go over each of them and kind of, I don't know, just discuss. We don't have it. It's not solid. We're just kind of making this up as we go with stuff. But there are kind of like 3 types of game enders. Oh, wait, I should give a shout out where shout outs are due, because we do that on this podcast. This stems from Shivam. It was a tweet that he did a couple months ago, and then I wrote it down as like a show idea, and then we've kind of formulated this. So Shivam on Twitter did this one just as a question. It was like a poll. How do you like to kill people? Do you like to kill them one by one, all at once, or it depends on the situation? So we turned it into, do you like to be a sniper, which is one at a time, kind of what he was saying there. The Annihilator, which is killing everybody all at the same time, or the Infiltrator, kind of like the spy, where it's based on the situation. You kind of, you're never like one or the other. It just depends on how the situation goes. And it's almost like a deck building and a play style. It's like a mix of the two, because you have to have Annihilator options in your deck to be an Annihilator. If you don't have anything that kills everybody at once, you're not an Annihilator. But if you have, you're more of taking out targets one at a time, it just fits you in.
Should we just start with Annihilator? Because I kind of disagree with that comment.
Well, no. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Like, I think it can, I see what you're saying. And I think you made more of a specific list of what's going on, but I think it's also a play style and a mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've talked about it before, where like, if you're knocking one person out and then you just blew your load, like, people last, like, the game can go another hour and a half, 2 hours. And that sucks for that person that got knocked out.
Right.
Right. And so you can have the mentality of, and this might be you can have a what's that last one? The spy?
Infiltrator.
Infiltrator. Thank you.
Yeah.
You can have the infiltrator mindset.
Yeah.
That is more, but
Let's wait
like
and see how
take everybody out at once. Like make sure everybody's down to 10, and then like boom, boom, you're dead. And like I oftentimes do that, and it bites me, but I'm also okay with it. Type thing where like I get everybody down below 10. I go, okay, what are you at? What are you at? What are you at? And then I try and attack all out. And then people are like, okay, I got this removal, this bounce, I got a wrath here, aetherize or whatever. And oftentimes that just gets me.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm going for that win.
I think that's a good point. The being labeled as the Annihilator can have, it's a mix of the two. It's how your deck is built as an Annihilator.
Yeah.
And there's how you play as an Annihilator. Are you a player that as soon as somebody's down low enough, do you just go, all right, let's eliminate that player, snipe them out? Or are you the one that they're low enough, we keep them there, we know we can kill them at any point or whatever, and you try to get everybody else down to that same level and then annihilate everybody? So I think it kind of has a mix of the two. You can almost do this into two little sections. You can have, are you a deck?
We can have that discussion. Like what are the cards for Annihilator that we're feeling needs, like those are the cards that you're putting in there to end the game.
Yeah. So it's our Day of Dragons kind of idea is, we have that spot, which speaking of, we got our new business cards in, which now has the commander blueprints on the back side of our kill him tokens. But let me get it. So we have Day of Dragons. I don't know if oh yeah, you can see it. Day of Dragons we have in our deck stuff, which 3 to 5 Day of Dragons, you know, it doesn't have to be that. We always, not always. Do you always put
you
always?
Yeah,
I was gonna say we maybe should have put that 0 to 5 because you don't necessarily put Day of Dragon type cards.
That can be frustrating, and I understand that. Like I generally cannot come out and just win the game. I can control the game, but I can't necessarily win super quick.
So that would kind of fit you in more of like the Infiltrator type thing, but we'll get to all of that too. But, so Day of Dragons, you go off of combos, Annihilator. So we're back to the Annihilator.
Yeah.
So it's killing
combos. I think totally fit in here. Like if you're able to win out of anywhere and beat everybody, you're playing Annihilator style there.
Yep. Infinite combos, regular combos, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of Annihilator stuff would be you play a lot of mass damage or mass attacks where you're having you're attacking with a big meat force and going
like
through.
Ishin's probably in that realm of just growing so big, and if nobody has that wrath, you're gonna kill everybody really quick.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would say this is where you see like Crater Hoof Behemoth type style of decks.
Yes. Yeah.
Where you have your tokens out and you just plow through and kill everybody at once. Typically, Annihilators have like a plan. Not that the others don't, but it's more of like, I need to get this thing out, and then that allows, like, it's almost, what is it? It's a machine. They're all working, but there's a term for it.
Engine?
I guess. There's something else. You've said it before, but I can't think of it right now.
I see a lot of things.
But you typically have these pieces working together, and then eventually it creates this game-ending thing. I also feel like Annihilators have less interaction? Question mark a little bit. If you're playing more of you're less on the spot removal, but you're more on the mass removal because you're trying to get rid of everybody's stuff so that you can win the game. And I feel like spot removal is more for an infiltrator, somebody that's controlling a little bit more. And should we just do each?
I can agree with that. Yeah. Like the contrast is a good spot. Like, and I do think that like you're probably protecting yourself more in Annihilator rather than worrying about what other people are doing necessarily.
It's not solitaire, but it's you have your thing that you're doing, and this is how you're going to win the game, and you need to protect that. You don't care what you do care, but you don't necessarily
want them to win.
Right. But you don't necessarily have the answers to stop everything. You know, you don't always have the answer in your hand because you're more focused on protecting what you're doing. So I feel like Annihilators are more focused that way. I feel like I lean towards more of an Annihilator. That's my style of play a little bit.
That's how
more.
I was going to ask you, do you feel like you're more like this and that? I think that's where that engine comment is. I consider you probably more of a engine player where it's like you build, and then like it's nearly unstoppable if you don't stop you before you get to that point.
Hence why Lowery starts picking my engine pieces away so early on in the game. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, and that's just like playing the person and playing the deck and stuff like that. You know, like when we're talking about the sniper, like I technically am playing a sniper mode when it comes to you.
Yes.
But I don't snipe other people, but I also don't go and try and kill you.
Right.
I just try and get you within range once you start doing your shit.
Yeah.
And then oftentimes it's not close enough, but
this is where you are. You're like, depends on the phase of the game. Beginning game, Lowery is sniper at Adam until I'm under control. Then you change into Infiltrator, where then you're controlling everybody, trying to get it equal and all that stuff and take out the big threats. And then you end the game by Annihilator. So you have like a mix of all three in your game style of play. It's like, but the sniper,
that might be
it should say Adam Sniper instead of just Sniper.
Adam Sniper. Yeah.
Pew!
Yeah, I mean,
God damn it, Lowery.
I mean,
pew! Bounce that shit to your hand. Pew! Bounce that shit to your hand.
I think one thing that I do is it's not necessarily, you know, I can't always get to the point where you're within range. You know what I mean? But like I go after you until I become a focal point within the game. And that could be at any point.
You are.
And so when other opponents are going, okay, Lowery has Adam on his heels, and then it's you know, you're always focused on me because of my antics. And then normally one other person turns and goes, yeah, Lowery's getting pretty far ahead. And then that takes me down a peg to whereas like I start losing ground because I am using a lot of resources at the beginning. Like I try and be well oiled. I try and be efficient. I try and be quick, you know? And so if I have this small-ish army and removal and a full hand type thing, people tend to go like, oh, I don't like where he's at. And so that's where it's probably where I drop back and become the Infiltrator. So that's
Mindslaver, Renshai. What are you talking about?
He's just playing awful combos now. He mentioned food chain combo wins. Yep, that would be Annihilator.
Yeah.
Mindslaver would be in a documented style of you're a griefer player.
Well, actually, that's what I put on for Sniper in a way is you focus on one person. And so I feel like Mindslaver would be you're going after.
He's doing Mindslaver like combo though, like being able to do it like.
Well, then that fits with Annihilator combos. Like you're just you're at the infinite combo stuff.
He's just so like that's the thing is a lot of people I think aim for Annihilator because it's like I do this huge hailfire of torment, you know what I mean, or the Crater Hoof Behemoth, or combo out with whatever, or you know, combo mill, combo life. And so I think a lot of people aim for that, or like attracts a poison where you poison everybody and you just proliferate up. Right.
I would say a lot of people we play with do that, but I don't think that's necessarily everybody around. Like, you know, we've had different people play with us way in the past. There are people that just go after one person. Like they have their target and they go after a person and take them. I've experienced.
I can believe that. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like
I wouldn't say most people, but that's a subset like we're talking about. Yeah.
Right. So I think let's start with the deck building part, I guess, is I tend to build my most of my decks Annihilator.
Yeah.
But then when I do Voltron, it's definitely a sniper but I would even say those are to kill everybody at once, even though the one guy is the one doing the damage. But like Akiri, that one's a sniper deck. Blanca is a sniper, but it tends to do as much damage all around. It is sniper mixed with Annihilator-esque in it. I'm trying to think of some other, like, what were my braids?
So right now we're talking about sniper, right? Should we, like, sniper is
Well,
basically
yeah,
one of the types of decks like Voltron,
Yep.
where you're building up a creature, which would, or a play style would be going after one player.
Right.
And going, that'd be like Shu Yun, that'd be like Ural is Voltron. You can build Glenn Voltron style.
Commander damage type decks, poison type decks.
Poison type decks, yeah.
Because normally poison...
Which isn't, Triumph of the Hordes would be an Annihilator card to kill everybody as well. So when we're saying poison, it's more like Skitherix.
Yeah, everything that isn't Triumph of the Hordes. Triumph of the Hordes is your Day of Dragons. That's what that is. But yes, anything else with your poison, or what's the new thing that they have? Toxic is the new
Toxic.
Poison.
Yeah. I'll bet you it. I don't know if they've said it or anything, but that's the old school poison. That's how poison used to be. Because you were able to deal damage with whatever Cobra, and so it'd be damage and then you get one or two poison.
Yeah.
Big
I have on here big single damage. So like if something's doing not just your Voltron, but you're doing massive amounts of damage, but it's just one target. So if anything says, I think I even put it on here, if it says target player, yes, I did, focus on a target. If you're playing spells that just only do target player. So like, let me give an example. Bruvac, when I built Bruvac and when I built Captain N-Word, both of those decks, to do the best mill stuff, I shouldn't say the best. A lot of the top mill stuff is target player mills, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I don't like taking, and so specifically when I built those decks, I built them Annihilator focused. Yes, I do have the ones where it's mill half your library, because if you have Bruvac out, it mills their whole library. You're targeting one player. But there's only like 3 spells that I do with that. But most everything else in the deck is all your opponents mill or everybody mills, because I wanted to kill everybody at the same time. And so like, as a deck builder, as a brewer, as a spotlight deck builder, I focus on trying to kill everybody at the same time. So every time when I'm building, it's Annihilator focused. I'm always trying to make it so that we know how it is when somebody gets knocked out early and they sit there for an hour, 2 hours. It sucks. And so and that's why you don't kill me right away when you do focus on me on those games, because then it just sucks.
But it's not just you. Like
Right.
if somebody's really struggling, I do try and get them a little bit. Like if I can get in my pokes a little and get them down, just so they're not like, we're all at 20 and then they start rolling and they're still at 40. That's when it's really close to like, it's not going to happen. You looking for your dragon down there, or?
Oh, he's over there. I feel like I'm very, very sober this episode because of the no more arts. It's
no
really
more
weird.
shots.
I'm like,
I'm gonna go and get a beer once I run out of this. I was not planning on this,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
No,
That's
it's
okay.
fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm like, oh, I just need more beer now.
So
distracted with the drink.
sniper is definitely something that I have tried to build in the past, and oftentimes, again, you can play it differently when it comes to sniping. So like oftentimes what I try and do is I can treat my Voltron guy as a removal spell and focus on one person.
Mhm.
So either like I'm attacking and they're either taking a bunch of damage and they can take it like twice, and then they have to start throwing shit at it
Yeah.
to make sure they don't die. And then so you're removing a creature to doing that and then you just make sure that your creature can attack that player. So if they throw up like a ghosted prison or something that doesn't allow you to attack them or whatever, you make sure you deal with that. But that allows you to also focus resources over at other players to make sure they're just not going off, right? Because you're already going after one person, and then you can use your removal and any backup blockers to make sure that crackback isn't too bad.
Right.
And so even though that is a sniping style of like deck, you can make sure that you're not just all out focusing on one person.
Right.
I think that is a downfall of sniping, is when it's kind of like that player that gets pissed that you dealt them 1 damage at the beginning of the game, that like the red eye of like, fuck you, how dare you.
Yeah.
And you can just sit there and go, that person will go, oh, you got a creature, remove it. It's like, well, that wasn't the best creature, number one. Number two, you should not have been removing that. Like,
right.
That was pointless.
You're just doing
when that
spite.
person is being unreasonable, like sniping, you
Should
gotta
have
watch out for that.
That's a whole nother category. That's just
right.
Revenge.
Silly.
No, it's not even revenge.
Oh, that's
it's
the revenge play. I think we've talked about that.
Yeah,
type
we have
of
talked
player.
about revenge. Yeah,
but I think that is a type of sniping as a play style.
Yes.
Is you went after me, the revenge player is a sniper essentially, and that's a big throw off of a gameplay because it turns into
because then it's
like
not
a
playing
1v1 with
right.
these two just fucking doing whatever they want to do.
It doesn't come down to what the smartest play is. It just comes down to I'm killing your stuff. Like,
yeah.
And
and then that person is either on the defensive or also just destroying that other player's stuff, because either you're not doing anything or defending yourself.
Yeah.
And so that is a forced version of sniping that I think you want to avoid, but it is there in the play style.
So, and I think this is interesting because, like I said, I build a lot of my decks as Annihilator focused, but the decks that I build as sniper focused, I still play it as Annihilator focused. Kind of what you were saying there. Akiri, I normally hit if I'm hitting people with Commander. If I feel like the game's about to end, if I have like I see in my hand I can win this game the next turn, I might kill a player with Commander damage. But if I don't see the win there, then I start moving it around to get everybody else with Commander damage, bring them all down. So I'm still doing the Annihilator thing where it's still in reach of Akiri at any point for that player, but I move it around, and then it turns into my play style again. And that's play style.
And I think that's a really
back.
good point. Like it's a little bit like how I treat you, of get you within one shot. So if I have to, like if you're going crazy, I can be like, okay, can I get my commander in and just like get them? Even if you're at 50 or 100 of life, I have that much commander damage. Doesn't matter if you're Aetherflux Reservoiring or, because that card is always crazy for you. Like you goddamn gain like 20 life.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I do. I know what I'm talking about.
Go back
Nobody else does.
to last Discord games. Was it
And
last
so,
Discord games? Yeah.
But that I agree. I do that as well when it comes to commander damage, is get somebody within one, then switch it over and try and get somebody else in there. And then it depends on where everybody is, right?
Yeah.
Like if everybody's within 10 and you're a one shot away from commander damage, I'll take you out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because then the game's close enough to being done at that point. Tyson brought up dropping plates. Hey, Tyson. Dropping plates.
Tyson.
That was more of a game winner. So I think, did we talk about dropping plates last week? No, we've talked about it a lot though with the Trombley.
We've mentioned dropping plates every once in a while, but that was a 1v1 point of the game.
Yes.
Right. So it was just Tyson and Trombley.
Yeah. Trombley thought he had the win. Tyson had the redirection back to Trombley. He said dropping plates, and Tyson played a spell, and Trombley lost.
It was an angel of the dire hour.
Yeah,
I wasn't even there, but I was like, fuck. I went, and once that happened, I went out and bought like 2 or 3 of them. I was like, I love it.
Okay, so sniper, I also had normally I kill biggest threat, kill player, move on to the next target. Single protection, so you normally don't have, I mean, you probably do have a lot of mass, you still have the protection spells, but you're typically only trying to protect one thing, because it's a lot of times the Voltron style. Spot removal.
I'm gonna go get another beer.
Yeah,
you
no,
can just.
I'll keep
you
going.
can go.
Okay. Spot removal, you're looking at more of there is a little bit more than the Annihilator side, because I think the Annihilator side, you're trying to get rid of everybody else's board, whereas Sniper is trying to get rid of what's stopping the sniper from doing something, and getting rid of the threats. So what I just said there, Lowery, is that the Sniper has more spot removal than I would think the Annihilator does, because they're more trying to remove the threats and the things that are stopping the sniper from doing what the sniper wants to do. So if you had, like you said, ghostly prison out, or something that doesn't allow them to attack or do, or basically castrates their threat, they need to have some way to answer that. So there's a lot more, not a lot more, but more spot removal than an Annihilator would have. And then,
and I think you have more protection.
yeah,
I
said that was right before.
If you're Voltron, like I've had it where, like, back when we were starting, like I built Ural, and I was so focused on Ural that just one, like, everybody sacrifices a creature. I'm like, fuck. And you sacrifice Ural, and like that's hard to protect against, but you need, like, you understand, like, oh, I need to have enough creatures in there, and I need to make sure that I can protect Ural, or that one creature that you're building up. It's not necessarily just like all of your stuff survives, but you need some type of protection.
Yep. And then the difference between Annihilator and Sniper is normally when you're getting to that game ending stuff. The Sniper obviously is killing one person at a time, so it takes many turns. Whereas an Annihilator, normally it's like, everybody's dead, game over, let's move on to the next game. You know, it's one turn, everybody's dead. So that's the difference between the two. Okay. So those are the big two. Now we get into the Infiltrator, which is the spy, the situational player, the one that isn't necessarily an Annihilator, but might have parts of Annihilator, and isn't necessarily a sniper. It's more of reactionary type of player. I also put on here a big thing on it. It has answers. This is, I feel like you fit into all three of these, and they're like, you take little bits of each one of these. And like I mentioned before, is it depends on the time of the game. Early on, you're Sniper. Right. Then you turn into a Infiltrator. Then you go into an Annihilator. Okay, so Infiltrator, you sit back and react to things. You're maybe, this is probably the one that has the most spot removal. You're reacting to what threats are out there. You're controlling things a little bit more, but you're not becoming a threat. You're just
think of this. It's probably the counterspell player. That's probably
no.
What
There
it
should
is.
be another
just
category.
Needling
Just
enough people.
Douchebag.
Just so yeah, they're the douchebag of the crew. That's, and I get when you're saying that I am that, and I've been douchey.
Well, that kind of fits in, because my next thing was let others do main work, and then you come in for the win at the end. You finish things off.
I absolutely do that.
Yeah.
I absolutely do that.
I also wrote, it can kill by like the way the Annihilator kills, less obvious, but most likely you're a sniper and how you kill at the end. If this is where you're sitting, like you can have both. But normally you're not setting up to annihilate everybody. Yeah. It's maybe one card that kills everybody, but it doesn't kill everybody from everybody at 40 life. They have to be really low of life. That's when you're able to kill 3 people at once or whatever.
I don't think I can take any. There isn't a single deck, if everybody's at 40, where I could win that turn. I don't have a single deck like that.
I do, because I like Crater of Behemoth. No, I haven't put that in a damn deck in years now at this point. Years.
Well, you keep on making red decks. That's all you make. That's all right. Just saying, I've switched over. I have a Dark Fava. It's a barrel-aged rye whiskey. It's made with Mexican vanilla, Ecuadorian cocoa nibs, and lactose, it's like 12.5%.
Oh, it's like taking a
Yeah, but I
Malort.
felt like it was safe since nobody's doing Malort.
Yeah,
So
watch it come in
fuck
at the end.
anybody that
Watch
donates
it
at this
come in at the
point. Don't you dare.
Yeah, we're an hour and
Don't you
15 minutes
dare.
into this. It would make it for a bad night for you. Well,
Yeah,
for both of
well,
us.
We're not going to fit 3 in at this point either.
That's what she said. Okay, so then
What conversation are you having with her?
we're not going to fit 3 in. Probably more spot removal than mass removal, but you'll have a mix of the both because you're more of a controlling the game.
Yeah.
Does have maybe out of nowhere wins because you might not look like a threat, and then all of a sudden you have the win. You can go all the way to the end because that's the thing is you're. And this doesn't count towards none of this counts towards the player that gets mana fucked and isn't doing anything the whole game and then ends up winning the game. That's just a thing that happens. You should kill those players, get them down to really close so that they do die, because a lot of times the people that get mana screwed, and that's why we do our little draw thing at the beginning of the game so people don't get mana screwed as often, and we friendly mulligan because we don't want that to happen. But it
helps a ton.
Yes.
It helps a ton.
We don't have that.
And so if you watch our games, you'll see how it goes. We go, the
good
person that
plug.
starts 8, 9, 9, 10.
Yep.
You should go and check out
out how we do it.
Yeah. Woo. But we go 8, 9, 9, 10. Free mulligans doing the same thing. We want everybody to have a
fun games.
decent hand.
Yep.
You don't have to have an amazing hand, but
No.
you need to be. We want you doing something.
Right. You don't want to be hoping for land. You only have 1 land in your hand. It's just stupid, and we don't want to punish you for not. And then I put Infiltrator. This is the one that stays in the games the longest because they typically have the answers. They typically, respond. In response. This is the in response player because they do have answers for a lot of things. And what it is just staying in the game until the end and then pulling off the win with the grindy, easy kills after everybody's already down. So
is it easy? Is it easy?
Well, it's not easy when
think,
you start getting to be a target right away, Lowery. Like it doesn't work out.
Right. You're right.
I don't think I fit in this category.
I don't think so either.
The only times I fit in this category is when you are the target. When you become the target, then I'm like, yeah, guys, Lowery's the bad guy. Let's get Lowery. Let's all get Lowery. That's the only time in an infiltrator. But even that doesn't work out. So
I mean, it does. It's true though. That's interesting how we play against each other. where like I half snipe you. I'm going after you a bit just to try and get you within that range. And then the tides turn and you're like,
Infiltrator time.
Get him.
Look how weak my side is, guys. Get him. He's the biggest threat.
And then you build as I'm getting destroyed. And then I'm going, no, please stop. Look at him. Look at him. And then it's yeah. I think
all right. Where do you feel
I think you could super graph what our games are like. I still love them. Yeah. But it might be a repetitive gameplay style.
Stop going for me, Lowery, you asshole. I'm just kidding. So
fine.
You're
right. I'm okay. Were you saying sorry for calling me an asshole? I'm an asshole. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna streak right now.
You're gonna streak right now? We're gonna get tons of views if we
being
do
an asshole right now. Like that's need to do some breathing or meditating. I was trying to teach Lowery how to meditate the other day, and he was like, well, "What's that?" I was like, "Well, how about this?" Like we watched a video of like a Tibetan monk talking to us, and I was like, "Okay, let's focus on a sound." And like every 30 seconds, it's like, "Are we done? Are we done?" I was like, "You need to focus. Let's just try and focus. We want to be quiet. I'm not focusing on your sound. Let's focus on like the furnace going or something." Every 30 seconds. Like, okay.
My kids.
I'm just trying to calm down.
Right. Okay, so where do you feel you fit in these? Where do you see yourself?
I think we've discussed it enough. I'm generally not
deck building.
I would
wise.
say
deck building wise. Where do you fit?
Infiltrator for sure.
Okay, and then
I would say that's how I build my decks.
And then yes, I 100% agree. I think you are an infiltrator, how you build your decks. I think I build mine as an annihilator. I always have the 3 to 5 Dave Dragons.
I agree with that as well.
When you're playing the game, I do feel like you move through phases of it.
I agree with that as well.
I think it's different because we have a different dynamic that I'm not doing like a pity party that we get attacked. It's just the bit, you know. I mean, we have a fucking playmat that says kill the Smiths first.
Right.
So there is no luxury of being an infiltrator, of just sitting back and being the neutral person, because we aren't neutral. It's almost fun to attack us in a way. So,
and I think, and I
guess Infiltrator has the answer,
other
so.
like I've seen other content creators talk about this when they go out in public, that if they're known, they get targeted. Like, I took out Shivam or, you know, Josh Lee Kwai. Like you get targeted when you're known. And I think our Discord and our patrons do they do it, but not to like
not
a sniping level degree.
It's not obnoxious to that one point
and
when we were
especially
playing.
ones that we've played with a bunch. At this point, they're like, okay, I couldn't, you know, if we're bringing up like Alex or Renshai or Jacuzzi, like I couldn't remember a time where I'm like, God, fuck, they're going. But if we, you know, they're going after me. But like if like Jaw,
well, that's what I was about to bring
after
up.
us. Yeah,
is before when we used to do the not battle boxes, the boxing league during the heart of
boxing
COVID.
league. Yeah, I agree.
And we had to put a rule. The whole kill the Smiths thing was out because we didn't have answers, because we didn't have the tools to do it. So we were just getting knocked out, especially like when you jumped in, you were just targeted immediately and you were out always like the first one, because they were just 3 people against 1 and you don't have the tools to come back from there.
To defeat. Yeah. And so that is a thing. But again, I at this point within our Patreon, like in our Discord, I don't think that is necessarily. No. It's not like it's not egregious to a level of degree of just going like, yeah, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah, come on, guys, let us play some games here. No, it's
like I haven't felt that way in years at this point.
And I get it. It's easy if there's a decision to be made. Hit the Smith. If you can't make it, instead of rolling a dice and be like, you're 1, 2, you're 3, 4, you're 5, 6. You just hit the Smith. Like we get it. It's fine.
Unless you're playing Vial Smasher.
No, that's the dice, and for some reason it's weighted towards me. No matter what, it's so fucking stupid.
That's great.
Doesn't matter who plays it. You had Vial Smasher. Renshai has Vial Smasher. For some reason, Arcades is the target.
Like you're at like a 75 to 90% randomly targeted clip at this point.
Okay, so I don't think I'm a sniper very often. I think that I don't think the sniper fits for me at all. I'm between the Annihilator and Infiltrator when I'm getting everybody against you. That's pretty much it. I think my play was all Annihilator, like no removal, blah, blah, blah. Just Annihilator has removal, but I went all Annihilator for years. And I think over the last few years, I've mixed in Infiltrator more where I always wanted answers, but now I'm starting to sprinkle in more answers because I'm realizing that.
And I would say that I've actually backed off on the answers, but they tend to be like repetitive. And so if I get to the answers, then I can start frustrating people. But more often than not, I don't draw enough answers at this point, so people can just kind of do their own thing.
Yeah.
And so that's something that has changed, because then that like gears towards like trying to do more of what I'm trying to do. Because there's one of those things that we talked about a while back about, similar to last week's episode, of not becoming the target. And oftentimes when if you're the infiltrator and you are just controlling the game, like the counterspell player, people get like, they notice you.
Right. And that's what you don't want to do with Infiltrator. Yes.
Yep. And so you don't want to go over the top control. Like if you are coming down as a stacks player, that's technically infiltration,
Right, until you become the prime
and then,
target because
but you're not
doing so
sitting
much.
back enough. People will
Yeah.
notice you right away. You are affecting everybody, and then your shit's gonna start getting blown up.
That's a very good point to bring that up, because I meant to talk about that, but I didn't actually put it notes wise. Stacks players, counterspell players, if you're doing something, the infiltrator thing too much, I think that can pop you into the Annihilator category in a way.
Agreed.
Because
then you're annihilate. You're controlling the board until you do something.
Yes.
Right.
And you might not have the Annihilator finisher, but you have become what is the Annihilator's the threat. Like that, when you're seeing the Annihilator, that means they're setting up to win the game. When you're doing the other things too much, you have too many stacks things going on, too much damage each turn, too many counter spells. You have now shifted your infiltration into the Annihilator. So yeah, that's
and let's use that as Takasia game as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Like and that was the frustrating thing for Renshai and Jacuzzi, but like Cowboys win 31-14.
Yeah.
But Takasia, I had no way to win. I was not a threat other than I was controlling the board a bit too much.
And at that point, you were the Annihilator, but we couldn't do anything about it, and you couldn't.
And I couldn't do anything about closing out the game. You know what I mean? So that part is
your game winner was us scooping. That was your Day of Dragons. I'm gonna frustrate people,
and I honestly didn't even think I was that oppressive, but it was more that I didn't have it, like in conjunction with not having any aggressive attack plan at that point.
I mean, I think you had us dead no matter what within 2 to 3 turns, but it was like, why are we playing these 2 to 3 turns out? Let's just say
again, you guys can draw into removal or a wrath, and then I just would have been dead in the water. And so like,
I think at that point we were like,
that's that point.
We concede, and we all looked at the top 3 or 4 cards and like, yeah, it was over. Like we couldn't do anything.
I don't recall that, but
okay. Was there more?
So yes. I think, I think we touched on like the blood red player as a sniper, and try and avoid that, try and not be that like angry player. Cause remember, like Magic's a fun game,
right?
Do it to be fun. Like if you're just getting angry at the first person that hurts you every time, like take a fucking chill pill, or, get like a massage attachment to your chair and like just lean back and just
or
take a marijuana before
take a marijuana. If it gets you pissed off in a commander game, then you shouldn't be playing commander. This is supposed to be more relaxed. Then move over to CEDH, or no, that's actually 4-player too.
And that's okay, but
you know what I'm saying?
There can be expectation frustrations. Like there's a whole lot of stuff, but it's more like, if I wouldn't say don't play, I would say figure out why you're being frustrated and be able to address that. And so
every time
sometimes
we do this,
it's you, sometimes it's them.
I always think of Grant stuff, like who we used to play with years ago. Like it just, I know I mentioned him last week too, but it just, that was like the prime player of you damage. Although Jake did that too, like our cousin Jake.
Yeah.
If we hit him, he's like, I'm coming after you.
Not from the Discord, but from real life. Cousin Jake.
If you hit him, you were his target, and until you died. Trombley does it to an extent. His changes, we've talked about that before too with different players. He has revenge on the player that hits him, and then the next player that hits him, then he has revenge on that player. So he has ADD revenge player all over him. So it's pretty funny with that.
But that's a bit of where is casual commander makes you mad, then CEDH probably isn't your jam.
Yeah.
Well, I would kind of disagree with that, Renshai, though. Like when you're going into a CEDH game, you know what you're expecting, right? And so like everybody's looking to win, like in the strong decks. And if you're going in and you know that it's a CEDH game, you should kind of expect certain things.
You should be not one damage.
You shouldn't worry about the combos. You shouldn't worry about being counterspelled on your like those things. But like when you're in a casual game, that's the part where I think it's really tough. To to know power levels and where everybody's at. That I think is that sliding scale. And I think I've used a story before, but like with racquetball, back when, we played here in Minnesota with our family and the groups at YMCA and stuff like that, I would have considered myself a lower middle class player. Like I generally couldn't win. I never had any kill shots. And so like, and I was in the group, Jake was super, super good. You were really good.
Jake was in a league in Madison.
Right. And there was that like that guy named John at the YMCA that grandpa always paired with in his doubles. He was like, he's really fucking good. I'm really fucking old. Let's play this game. And and so that's where I always felt like I was. And I go out and I visit our cousins that graduated from the University of Wyoming. And I'm playing with our Uncle Kenny when he was still alive and some of the professors there. And I was like, I'm not very good. And I killed him.
You're like, what the fuck? How am I this good?
I was just smashing on him. And
it's because you played and they really haven't played. And so
I think it's that like I was still young, athletic, all over the court. And they were slower players, and I think they didn't hit as hard. And it was just a different atmosphere. And when I kept on going like, I'm not that good. I'm not that good. And Uncle Ken was just like, Lau, you should probably shut up because you're making us all feel pretty bad. And I was like, and that gives you that perspective too of like,
yeah.
Oh, I got what you're saying. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make you guys feel bad. I just don't know what's going on.
Right.
Sometimes.
This is
and
new.
So that's a perspective thing. It's that, like big fish in a little pond or little fish in a bigger pond or type analogy. Like when you switch ponds, you don't really know where you fit in. If that makes sense. When you're playing, when you're playing Magic, you don't, if you're not in a consistent group, it's really hard to know where you fit in that pod or pond or group.
Right.
So it is what it is.
All right. I think we can wrap it up. Not with the
agreed.
cast, but let's get to the tournament stuff. This will be quicker because we don't have a lot of stuff.
Elite 8.
Do I might as well hit it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
We bring you the saltiest cards in Commander with the Salty 64.
I gotta play it. Why not?
Let's get ready to rumble!
Salty. Keyword. 64. Tournament. Salty. 64. Salty. I do miss this. 64. I should have made a new one for it. Salty.
Where I want that.
Y'all ready for this?
All right. Okay. So we had 4 matchups. It was the Elite 8 last week.
Hold on. If we do another tournament, what song would you choose? Still the ESPN Jock Jams one?
Probably. Yeah.
You wouldn't change it to like Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls or something?
Why would I do that?
It's an old song that everybody knows. Why wouldn't we?
Because it feels like a tournament thing. Why would I chase waterfalls? Why would that even be a part of it?
Look, I don't know. I didn't realize you had a reason. I didn't know this.
I don't just pick a random song and then I'm like, hey, we're just gonna play. We're gonna play area.
That's what I would have done.
We're gonna play area codes for the keyword ability tournament.
Was that a halftime show?
No,
they did area codes.
He didn't do area codes. He did. That was funny.
Definitely picked.
He did, but because he did his part in that, so he did a couple songs because he has. Look out, my outfit's ridiculous, and the club looking so conspicuous. Yeah, that's my favorite song, or not favorite song, but one of them. He did. Move, bitch, get out the way.
Oh, that's mean. Yeah, like you just asked nicely, right? Then somebody will move.
He did about 5 songs. It was really good. Actually, I thoroughly enjoyed that. So,
okay. Renchai's suggestion, the Chicago Bulls song.
Which one is the Chicago Bulls song?
What do you mean? From Jordan area? A Jordan era?
You'd have to give me a refresher. I can't. I gotta.
It might be. Is it the same thing? We'll check it out.
Okay.
Right.
Keyword ability tournament. So we are down to the Elite Eight this week. We had Trample versus Death Touch. We had Indestructible versus Scry. Landfall versus Double Strike. Protection versus Hexproof. Where do you think our first matchup went with Trample versus Death Touch? So that was our number. I'm checking the seeds. Our number 9 was Trample, and number 5 was Death Touch. Which one do you think took this one?
I mean, this is one that I definitely would go with, but like Trample seems to be like that should probably win this.
So this is the second closest voting.
Really?
At 51% to Death Touch. The second closest. So you.
Oh my goodness.
Yours survives.
You.
Yeah, your Trample was mine.
I feel like that is hashtag Team Forest Walk coming out and forced to get rid of Trample.
No.
That's what it is. They're like, fuck Trample.
I would have chosen Trample if I voted.
I probably would choose Trample as well.
Yeah. The next matchup was Scry versus Indestructible. So your number 2 Scry versus number 6 Indestructible.
Scry was my number 2?
Yeah, it's your second pick.
I kind of want to pick Indestructible.
Indestructible? Well, you're correct with the biggest win, the upset, 76% for Indestructible.
I go with it.
Yeah. All right, then we move to my side of the bracket. My number 1 pick, Landfall, versus number 4, Double Strike.
I'd go Landfall, clearly.
Of course, you said you were going to do that no matter what. Yeah. Well, the second closest voting with 50.5% of the votes, Double Strike won by one single vote. It won.
No way.
And the funny thing is I counted and it was exactly even 50-50. And then I looked back up at the Discord and somebody had voted or I miscounted and there was one more for Double Strike. So my number 1 got knocked off by Double Strike number 4. All right. The last one is number 6, Protection, versus my number 2 pick, Hexproof. We both said
I think I saw this Twitter poll, so like Hexproof was winning big time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
60%
guess Hexproof
went
won.
Hexproof. Yep. With that
60%.
one. So,
all right.
So that wasn't an upset. That one was the number 2. So for
Protection
our
should have won.
Yeah,
I think
that's what I would have voted too. So this week is our final 4, match 1, Death Touch versus Indestructible. Where do you feel?
I think Indestructible takes this.
It's kind of funny. It's Death Touch. It can't kill Indestructible, but yeah. So Death Touch is the higher seed at number 5 going against Indestructible. I probably would think the same way along that line. And actually, Indestructible won 76% of the votes in the last round. So that was our biggest blowout. And then our match number 2 is Hexproof versus Double Strike.
I'd say Hexproof takes this.
I do too, actually. But we have a lot of aggressive people out there that are probably going to vote otherwise because Double Strike? Oh, wait, no, Double Strike was really close. It was 50.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really close.
So are we projecting a Hexproof versus Indestructible? Oh shit!
People like their protection. You know, they don't want to have kids.
Really good.
People don't want kids or STDs.
I feel like I'm gonna invest into Trojan stock and then succeed.
Well, I mean, think of that. We had in the 8, there was Protection, Hexproof, and Indestructible. So you had 3 out of the 8 were Protection kind of stuff. And then you had Scry, Landfall, I feel like are in the same category. Death Touch, Trample. Yeah, so you had more of protecting your stuff. People like it. So here is the bracket as it stands. We have Double Strike against Hexproof and Death Touch versus Indestructible. So remember, starting on Tuesday, tomorrow, you guys can start voting for these. They'll be on YouTube for tomorrow. And actually, I popped it up on Twitter too tomorrow. So Twitter,
Pull and
YouTube,
pray.
Pull and
Jesus.
pray.
Obviously, Roe v. Wade didn't scare you enough.
So the community tab on YouTube, or you can vote on Twitter is the other spot, or on the Discord. So the 3 spots that we keep track of all that stuff. I'm probably going to throw up the poll of what type of game ender are you? I want to see where everybody's at with that. So there'll be that poll as well. So Sniper, Annihilator, Infiltrator. So if you don't remember which ones are which, listen back to the podcast so you can figure that out. I'll also put like a little note to each one of those. So, all right, guys, that should do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week. No, you got to say thanks for listening.
You're right. I was just dancing. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
I love boobs. I'm talking tatas. I love boobs. I'm
Hello,
talking
boobies.
bonkers. I
go.
love boobs. Thanks for the memories. I love boobs.
Boobs.
Just, I can tell when you're.
I am so sorry. Oh my God.